Hello, my name is Kaylee, and for my presentation I was assigned Panama. Panama links together Central and South America, but it is located on the North American continent. Panama's flag was designed by Manuel Amador Guerrero, Panama's revolutionary leader and first president. It was adopted on December 20th, 1903, and its colors are white, blue, and red. The white in the flag represents peace. The blue star stands for purity and honesty and is also affiliated with the Conservative Party. The red star symbolizes authority and law and is associated with the Liberal Party. Panama has an area of 29,157 miles squared and a population of 4,098,587 as of last year. The capital of Panama is Panama City. Its total metro population is 1,440,381, which is around a quarter of the country's entire population. It was founded on August 15, 1519 by Spanish conquistador Pedro Arias Davila. Its scenery is mixed with modern-day skyscrapers and buildings from the 1600s. The Panama Canal was built by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers between 1904 and 1915 with more than 75,000 workers. It allows ships to sail between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans without having to go all the way around South America, cutting out 7,872 miles of travel on voyages between New York and San Francisco. Today, the Panama Canal generates 1/3 of Panama's entire economy. Panama City is also home to the second largest rainforest in the Western Hemisphere, and is the only capital in the world to have a rainforest within the city limits. In Panama City, you can expect tropical climate with typical daily temperatures between 75 and 84 degrees year-round. The official currency of Panama is the balboa. It was named after Spanish explorer Vasco Núñez de Balboa, who discovered the Pacific Ocean in 1513. One balboa is divided into 100 cents. Because of its equivalence to the U.S. dollar, since 1904, the U.S. dollar has legally circulated in Panama. The current president of Panama, taking office in 2014, is Juan Carlos Varela. Panama is a presidential representative democratic republic whereby the president of Panama is both head of state and head of government. It has 3 branches of government, much like the U.S., being the executive, legislative, and judiciary. Panama also has a constitution, which was promulgated in 1972. It is comprised of 312 articles and also declares Spanish as its national language. As stated before, Spanish is the national language. The Spanish used in this country is referred to as Panamanian Spanish, and approximately 93% of the population speaks this as their first language. Most people who have jobs involved in business organizations may use both Spanish and English, which is the second language. English is used by about 8% of the inhabitants, French is spoken by about 4%, and Arabic is spoken by about 1%. Education is compulsory through middle school. The primary counts as grade 1 through 6 and is unfortunately considered one of the worst education systems in the world. The government doesn't want to change it because it fears upsetting unionized teachers. Middle school counts as grades 7 through 9. Unfortunately as well, in rural areas, many students are required to work in fields instead of attending school. Secondary school counts as grade 10 through 12 and is an option. A new Minister of Education has set moves in place to radically improve the quality of the secondary education and encourage students to regard teaching as a noble occupation. There's also vocational schools to help with industrial development, which includes private training colleges, and tertiary schools, like the University of Panama, which is established in 1935. That is their leading institution, but there are a few others, and this is a picture of it to the left. Okay, so now I'm going to go over a few of the popular tourist sites. So one of them is the Gulf of Chiriquí, which lies along Panama's Pacific coast. It contains one of the largest coral reefs in the Pacific and has one of Central America's richest mangrove forests. It has beaches and Coiba, the largest island in Panama. Another place people like to visit is called Boquete, which is or translates to the Valley of Flowers. It's situated along the western border and is home to coffee plantations and the Baru Volcano National Park. There's a community theater group that was set up here a few years back and is home to a major jazz festival. A lot of people come here to retire. It's very indigenous, but the population is slowly growing. Okay, so these are some more tourist sites. The first one mentioned kind of on the last page is the volcano Baru. It is an active volcano and is Panama's highest geographical point. You can hike it. A lot of people have problems adjusting to the different altitudes on the way up, but there is a hot spring that those who don't necessarily want to hike it can go hang out in, which is located about 30 miles from town. Another place is the Pearl Islands, which are an archipelago of about 100 islands in the Gulf of Panama off the Pacific coast. It's home to virgin forests and beautiful beaches. It became really popular and was made famous after its location was used on the show Survivor back in 2003. Contadora Island is the most developed of the Pearl Islands, and there's several resorts and an airstrip there. And a lot of the beachy areas, they're very underdeveloped, which people love. I think that's what makes beaches better. But this one does have a spot where you can actually go and stay in a hotel nearby and stuff like that. And visitors can charter private yachts to cruise and explore the islands. Now, there is one place that I didn't put on here called the San Blas Islands. Those are really popular, but they're also very dangerous. Panama has very low tolerance for drugs, and anybody who is involved around carrying, they can get in some major trouble. And a lot of the times when you're taking boats to get to certain places, especially in San Blas, it's huge for people are carrying drugs through there and things like that, so you can get in trouble there. Okay, so sports. The three most popular sports in Panama are soccer, boxing, and baseball. Soccer is the most popular sport. Its national team is Marea Roja, or Red Tide. When they win, often the streets are filled with parties after and, things like that. For boxing, boxing is extremely popular. There's a lot of gifted boxers coming out of Panama. One of them, Roberto Hands of Stone Duran, won 4 titles and is considered one of the top 10 boxers of all time. Baseball, of course, came from the United States. The National League of Panama was founded in 1944. Its national team is Panama National Baseball Team. And some famous players from there that you may know are Mariano Rivera, who played for the New York Yankees, and Carlos Lee from the Houston Astros. Okay, so for my final thoughts and conclusion, overall I think Panama would be very fun. It'd be very interesting. I would love to see culture and, meet the different indigenous tribes there. I know I didn't talk a lot about that in my PowerPoint, but that's because there's a lot to it. I think that, some areas would be very beautiful, all the scenic areas, the beaches. I'm a total beach bum, so I'm always, down to go check some out. Boquete especially, I definitely would not hike the volcano. I just feel like any active volcano should be left alone, so that would not be for me. I do like the fact that I wouldn't have to change over my money. That makes it a lot easier. That, I don't even know, gives me anxiety whenever I think about going somewhere and they use a completely different currency system. So that's actually really cool that, I can take with me my American money and use that, and it, all be the same. So overall, I think it would be, a cool place to visit. Wouldn't exactly want to live there, especially, to start a family and things like that. The education system is very poor, and, to me, that's really important. But overall, I think it would be a really cool place to go and visit. And here are my sources. And that's it. Thank you for watching this. Bye.